Ba 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 banana. Ba 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 banana. Oh, ba 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 ba.
There are many different cycles of matter which help an environment maintain itself as well as its living inhabitants. Among these is the carbon cycle. Carbon is an element that forms organic compounds when combined with other elements such as hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and more. It is very abundant within our atmosphere and bonds very easily with other elements due to its 4 valence electrons. The carbon cycle consists of the exchanges and transformation of carbon between living organisms and their environment. Carbon is found within every living organisms, rocks, and the atmosphere. Additionally, it is also found dissolved in water. Carbon is concentrated within our atmosphere, typically through heavy use of fossilized fuels and cellular respiration. The carbon cycle begins with the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a solar energy field process which converts 6 molecules of CO2, or carbon dioxide, and 6 molecules of H2O, water, into glucose, or sugar, oxygen, and heat. Plants take in the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to generate food for themselves. Carbon is then stored within their tissues. After the plants absorb and store the carbon, there are 2 possible processes which may occur, one of which being cellular respiration and the other decomposition.
The next process is respiration. Cellular respiration is a process where an organism converts their ingested food into usable chemical energy known as adenosine triphosphate, also known as ATP. This can be done by either the plant or the organisms that eat the plant. The process consists of 3 individual parts known as glycolysis, the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle, and the electron transport chain. The waste product of cellular respiration is carbon dioxide, which is then released back into the atmosphere and reused by plants in photosynthesis. After respiration is the process of decomposition. Decomposition is the process in which organic substances such as plant or animal tissues are broken down into simpler substances. It is necessary for environments to recycle both nutrients and matter in order to sustain itself. One of the waste products of decomposition is carbon dioxide. This is because as the organism's tissue deteriorates, the stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere. After decomposition is compaction. Compaction occurs when levels of decomposing materials form layers and eventually turn into rock. Dead plants and animals still contain large amounts of carbon, causing high concentrations of carbon within the sediment. As the rock weathers, carbon is released into the air as well as leaked into nearby bodies of water due to aquatic runoff. Runoff is when water flows downhill towards a body or collection of water. Humans use these carbon-rich rocks for energy in the form of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are substances such as oil, natural gas, and coal, which have been created through the compaction of dead organisms and plants. By burning these substances for energy, excess carbon dioxide is released into the air along with other atmospheric pollutants. The element carbon is very important to life. Carbon is so important to life because virtually all molecules in the body contain carbon, such as sugars, DNA, proteins, and fats. Carbon emissions, such as carbon dioxide, can negatively influence the quality of our air and increase greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases have a direct influence on the environment, causing extreme weather changes, a global temperature increase, also known as global warming, the loss of ecosystems, and potentially hazardous health effects for people.
In the carbon cycle, elemental carbon takes several different forms. It is found as a gas, a liquid, as well as a solid. It is found as a gas atmospherically and as waste products to process such as cellular respiration and decomposition. It is found in liquid form when dissolved in water. This is due to the weathering of carbon-rich sediment nearby the water source as well as underwater floor. Lastly is its solidified form, which can be found within sedimentary rock and/or decomposing organisms. Carbon travels throughout the environment with the aid of living organisms, water, wind, and more. It is incredibly abundant and found in every physical state. The carbon cycle also thrives in aquatic conditions. Photosynthesis still takes place in the sea throughout algae and seaweed. Same goes for cellular respiration. Marine wildlife consume either the aquatic plants or each other and utilize the metabolic process of cellular respiration to obtain energy. The carbon dioxide they emit simply disperses within the water. In some cases, the carbon dioxide may prompt bubbles and burst at the surface, releasing more carbon dioxide into the environment. In the end, carbon returns to the atmosphere typically in gas form.